Hey there, I'm Mark from Spectrum Pulse, and today we have from Shaboozey, Where I've Been Isn't Where I'm Going. You know, I never would have expected that of the acts getting prominent features on Beyonce's Cowboy Carter, that the first who would strike for new mainstream crossover, it would be Shaboozey, nabbing a mainstream hit on the Hot 100 with a bar song Tipsy that's looking to be among the songs of the summer with more momentum than any other singles that Beyonce has released since. Now that only happens when an act has all the connections and promotion ready for the moment, just needing the door to be opened, and that shouldn't be surprising if you remember that Shaboozey was also featured on the Into the Spider-Verse soundtrack 6 years ago in 2018, was actually signed to Republic for his debut album that year, but going back to that debut, I could tell the sound hadn't quite coalesced yet. A blur of leaden trap and R&B with only traces of pop folk, country, and even Afro beats, and it was pleasant, it was well produced, but it lacked a certain punch. I'm not surprised he soon left that label and wound up on Empire for his next album in 2022, and that hit the bluesy country trap side much harder. Indeed, with its rougher, more bruising production, I can see why some folks might prefer the more ramshackle Cowboys Live Forever, Outlaws Never Die, which includes a rumor feature that made me really long for a proper follow-up album, but by bringing Nevin Sastry back into the fold for production on this new album, it has the feel of bringing back the polish now that the sound and formula had really crystallized. And it led to a really consistent and strong project as a whole. The stomping blend of rap, country, blues, and pop folk is solidly balanced and robust. The guitars are suitably warm, and to my pleasant surprise, the pedal steel and fiddle, they both sound excellent. It's the rare album that sounds expensively produced and refined, especially in the drum machines, which is something that mainstream Nashville so often fumbles, even though I wasn't crazy about the leaden percussion on Drink Don't Need No Mix with Big S the Plug, but it's also not done in a flashy way that feels oversold, and actually had me kind of wondering why Beyonce didn't embrace more of those neo-traditional tones for Cowboy Carter this year, at least the fiddle. And I actually really like Shaboozey's vocal presence here as well. Not just now he cribs from southern trap vocal patterns and the husky baritone, but he nails that shaggy world weariness that comes with actually living hard and working hard on the road, where he's got the presence to get louder and tougher, but the restraint to know when it's appropriate. If you're looking for a genre-blurring act that leans into pop and somewhat modern country, comparing to someone like Post Malone, where the parallels do exist in the groove and the vocal inflections, this feels much more organically produced and soulful. The stylism consistently lands, and with bangers like A Bar Song Tipsy and especially Let It Burn, he could go toe for toe on a big stage. I hear it. Now, if I were to highlight a slight weakness of the project, it might be the writing. Not that it's bad, but it's a little inconsistent, a bit two-dimensional. I tend to appreciate his hangdog relationship misadventures like the exasperated and lightly toxic breakup on Anabelle, or the exhausted heartbreak of My Fault, where he's got tangible chemistry with Noah Cyrus, or the cycle of a relationship born out of stealing maybe your girl that's coming back around to steal her from me. I prefer that heavier irony to any aggro outlaw posturing, and there is often depth where you might not expect. Echoes of the history of the Great Migration drift around east of the Massanutten, or how the closer Finally Over is a pretty stark reckoning with his struggles to get his career off the ground and not having to create another viral moment. And it adds a nice little bit of relieved meta text in the landing actually sticking this time. In short, I think this is a really damn good, frequently great album. Shaboozey's blend of sounds is familiar, but it's polished and it's ready for prime time. And with a tight project and a few strong, very obvious singles ready to go, it almost feels old school to prime for the big leagues. I gotta hope Empire does not screw this up. It's right over the plate. But in the meantime, this guy is not just a cosign in a great party song. There is more to hear. Make time. Check this out. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. If you want to see more, please be sure to like, share, drop comments, and subscribe. I don't know how much hype is actually sticking around for Shaboozey, given that, again, I think a lot of people just know him for a bar song. But there's something to this album. It's dropping at a good time. I think there's runway here if marketed and played correctly. Let me know of your thoughts in the comments below. Beyond that, though, anything else I might be able to do to improve my presentation, I'm all ears. And if you all want to get involved in helping support the channel, or just talk to me on my Discord, or get albums on my schedule in the months to come, link to my Patreon right over there. Don't feel obligated, tough times, I understand. Options available. Till then, I'm Mark, you're watching Spectrum Pulse. and I'll see you next time.